Hello everyone. I'm going to be starting out today with the Tiger 2 here. I have a couple of requests already from the Discord server. Excuse me. But today, pretty much starting out, you can request any tanks. I'm going to be doing premiums at some point during the stream. Maybe for like an hour or so. But at least starting out, feel free to request anything. For you guys here already. Hello, Uber. Hi, Simon, as well. Nice to see you guys. Oh, Lord. Hits a tier 10 match. And there's two 183s on the enemy team, so this will be a little bit interesting for this tank. It's just even with... I'm definitely not going to want to get hit by them, because with Hesh, they do have a pretty decent chance of basically penetrating most of my frontal armor. But I'm gonna, play the Tiger 2 here. Then I have the 110 up after that. So feel free to, add on to this request list here. Hopefully everyone's having a good day though. And hopefully matchmaking is a little bit better than yesterday. It was a little bit iffy. Brown, I don't have the AMX 30 unfortunately. I'm at the 1390 for that line. I do have the other French mediums up the bat chat line, but yeah, unfortunately I don't have the AMX 30. I was actually just looking at that, honestly. I was kind of checking how far I am on tank grinds, and I kind of noticed that, AMX 30, I'm slowly accruing experience on it. I just haven't exactly focused too much on that grind yet though. Shit, our E5 is pushing. Likelihood of a 183 being down here, it's not zero. But if our E5 up there, he's pushing all the way up. It's surprisingly the other guys are taking a lot of damage. I'm gonna at least nudge up here to help them out. Knowing my luck though, at least with first matches, I'm probably gonna get like one shot at or something. Come across like something nasty. Surprised that guy went out like that. Unfortunately, I don't have the German mediums that far either. I'm up to both tier 8s, the Panther 2, and also the Indian Panzer. It's like I have American mediums up to 10. I have the bat chat line up to 10. The British mediums up to tier 10, and even the Chinese. Ooh, I actually hit him. I thought I screwed up that gun depression. But, if I have the tank, I will gladly play it for you. It's just unfortunately I don't have all the tanks. I'm extremely terrified right now. I guess I should do a little bit better job at that. Our team's doing pretty well though. I'm just gonna ping him to keep an eye out on him. I'm actually not as concerned as you might think about him now. Ooh shit, I was not expecting that guy. I don't think he knew that he could get shot through that. Hello, Scud. Yeah, I can play the 121 for you. I do have that. I'm actually having a pretty damn good match in this. Our team's starting to take some heavier losses though, which is, of course, no bueno. I'm just afraid about this Emil here. I have used quite a bit of APCR too. Some shots I haven't needed it, but shit, I missed that. That was a pretty big miss, because if he pushes on me, I am screwed. E5's coming back around. You know, granted, we've won this, so... There we go. Just nabbed another little kill there. That's a pretty good match to begin. Tiger 2, tier 10 match. Almost 2,700 damage. I'm getting a ton of text messages for some reason. It's too early. Mastery Badge first class. That was pretty damn good. I don't think that's anyone from the stream, but let me know. You know, I do have spots open if anybody does want to play. But pretty damn good match, you know, for a tier 8 and a 10. So, yeah. I was using APCR because, you know, it's kind of necessary in the tier 10 match. But a lot of those shots, surprisingly... thank you for that. Yeah, for some reason, yeah, thanks for saying that. Yeah, thanks for saying OBS froze up there for a second. Yeah, it pops back up right here. That's the first time that's ever happened. OBS, hey, you know when a screen freezes up, it basically just grayed itself out. Luckily, that was a quick fix. For once, it was not YouTube's fault, like the other week. Hello, Darren. Yeah, sorry guys, though. I don't know why it did that. I've never had it freeze up since, you know, my PC has tons of RAM. Like, streaming World of Tanks definitely doesn't stress it as much as, say, like, streaming Battlefield 1 or even Overwatch, stuff like that. Why is there a T-20? Okay, so they actually played this correctly. I was hoping just to come across some lighter tanks here. Got myself in a little bit of pickle. I do have a lot of people, fortunately, behind me. If they would just bump up a little bit here. I'm mainly concerned about that T-29, honestly. Anybody? Anybody. That's why I was saving it for an ammo rack. But like, are you freaking kidding me, guys? Like, nobody is helping me here, and I just got ammo racked again. Like, this is starting to get a little bit annoying here, honestly. I'm definitely gonna die, but like, are you freaking kidding me that you're just gonna sit there and watch me die? Usually I don't freaking yell at people in chat, you guys know that, but are you literally kidding me? They were just sitting there like, no, yeah, he's fine up there. There's only 3 tanks shooting at him. Like, oh my god. That was one of the... I'm gonna play the 110 again, of course, but that was pretty downright pathetic. Like, there's no other words. That's probably one of the... Yeah. Like, I get sometimes not relying on your team because you can't always trust random people, but that was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Granted, I wish I didn't push that far up. If I knew, because typically, you know, something like a T-29 wouldn't have pushed that far up. I was confident in the 110. It has enough armor to where, say against that Bulldog, that Cromwell, I would have been able to take them on by just poking out and not get hit by their tanks at long range. And then I wanted to push up, because trying to defend on that side of Fisherman's Bay, it's a lot harder to defend when you're kind of stuck, you know, back in one of the corners, because your TDs, tanks that, you know, basically go there to cower from everybody, they're not going to be able to get shots off without being seen. So that happens where they don't help you because they're too afraid, and then it's just like a domino effect, more or less. Alright, not exactly the best map for this. It's not exactly a flat map. Yes, I can play the T-57 Heavy. Okay, and this... a lot of people are going center. I don't like going north on this map for, you know, standard battle. I might just try my best down here. Granted, it's not exactly the best area for this, but we need at least one person out here, like spotting stuff like that. I think I just got the most text messages I've had in a few months. My brother just bought a new car, from the looks of it. Anyway, which yesterday I told you guys after the stream I was going to be working on you know, some articles on WoT Guru, since tomorrow it's about 90% confirmed that 9.17.1 patch is going to be hitting you know, the NA, EU, SEA servers. It released on the Russian server today, so be prepared to see a ton of Object 252Us. There's going to be a crap ton of those things rolling around. But yesterday, I spent a few hours doing the which tank line is right for you guide on WoT Guru, specifically for the German tanks, because I pretty much had to edit and rewrite that whole section. Let's say I kind of wanted to make sure that nobody else was gonna be over here, because my guys behind me are finally pushing up to where if they do push on me, they should be able to support me. Should. Never know after the last match, but the problem I have is just simply gun depression here. I'm just gonna try to work my way over to a spot where I can get damage, but pretty much it's just managing my HP more or less. I just had to move down a little. Basically, I have to be a little bit lower than them, so I'm actually kind of pointing up at them. There's a lot of people there, Bat Chat. I don't think you want to do that. I really don't think that you wanted to do that. I feel bad for kind of leaving you out here, but yeah, the rest of our team's kind of floundering. That's why you don't, if you're in a medium, you don't push down. Like, I probably would have worked a little bit better down there, like in the little gully, but freaking almost all of our mediums, it looked like it in a way, maybe not. They went north. It looked like in the beginning they went down there. Yeah, I'm aware that there's people behind us. You just keep on pushing, E3, and I will cover you. You know, we do have to worry about Artie, of course, but I will cover your backside. You just need to go. I get that, you know, he doesn't want to get flanked or whatnot. Yeah, with this Persian isolated though, I'll go after him. Since I hope they don't flank my E3 in the process. Ooh, crap. He just got whacked by something there. Maybe that T95. I'm actually gonna... He's not aiming my way yet, but... That Centurion's coming around E3. Or it looked like he dropped over. Yep, he did. Of course I got a 0 damage critical hit. Say I need to get a little bit closer so he can't run away. Say I will take that HP that I lost from that and ram him. And T95 got me. I was trying to drop down before he could do that, but at least it looks like we're gonna win. But damn, that tank does not have any Frickin' gun depression. Ah, Lord. Hello, Jack. Nice to see you. Hello, Michael. Hopefully you're enjoying Tokyo. Hello, Tim as well. That stream's gone so far. So far, so good. The last match didn't exactly get any support from Fisherman's Bay, but of course there's no results. I hate that little bug, but pretty decent match here. But yeah, gun depression for the 121 is definitely what holds the tank back. But even though I went to a spot that I didn't necessarily want to go to, I still think it was the better choice for me to go there than somewhere else, because that flank would not have pushed, and it basically would have fell if I was there because it was that close. But yeah, so I'm gonna do the 110 one more time here, since that last match my team decided just to hang me out to dry, and then I'll hop into the T-57 heavy tank. Making sure I didn't have any text messages as far as asking me about work. Not exactly something I can ignore for give or take 3 hours or so. Yeah, everything today's gone good so far. Can't complain. I don't know if anybody here watches Oak Island. That show last night. If not, take a look into it. But you'd probably want to just watch the season finales of each season. But it's a pretty interesting thing. I'm really into stuff like that. But last night, they finally found something as far as treasure. But yeah, like I said last stream, I've wanted, it would be cool to go to like Japan and other places. My problem is, in this stage of my life, can't exactly go on trips. I wish I could. Because our families always offer, they want us to come on like trips that, family vacations and stuff, but, when you're in your mid-20s, it's not always possible, just from like a time frame or anything. This might be bad. Something shot at me. Am I gonna scoot through here? I thought I was gonna get hit by that ISU 152. Seems like whenever one of those things are in a frickin' battle, I get hammered by one for like 700 damage. E25, I would not do that if I was you. I'm trying to track that guy, but yeah, I know. I know I have plenty of time. See, I'd like to go on trips, but at the same time, I'd rather get a little bit more done when I'm young. That way I can enjoy things when I'm a little bit older. A little bit loud, the frickin' trucks outside my house. Pretty much two houses, basically the ones directly next to me, have sold in the past couple weeks. There's a lot of construction going on around my house. Let's say I can take a little bit of damage here, but it's not gonna last forever. The armor on this is good, but if they start hitting me in certain spots, I wanted to get that shot, but I was a little bit too impatient. He's just plinking me with HE. Oh god. There we go. Come on, guys. Chaffee. I guess I can throw shells down here, but yeah, that's the goal at least. That's the goal. I should change, you know, the jokingly the little tip bar to Cody's retirement plan. Yeah, I can play the M48 patent. There we go. All I've wanted is that. I just want to get that guy down a little bit. He's going to back off now. I don't think he's going to come back. And now I can focus on a couple other people. Unfortunately, one of them is the ISU. That is the bane of my existence. But I have a little bit of HP to play with if I'm lucky here. If I'm not lucky, I'm going to get ammo racked. The ammo rack on this is a little bit weak. There he is. Does not look like he has the big gun. Oh, and I frickin' bounced off of him. Whew. At least he backed off there. Alright. T-14 is out in a spot that I can hit him in. Oh, why? Our T-34, why did you just do that, dude? He just pushed out. Getting a little bit impatient there, dude. Let's see if I can get this little guy out over here. Yeah, I can play the Indian Panzer. I'll have to make sure I remember to write these requests down after this. Unfortunately, I know I have a lot of HP here. I might be playing it a little bit too safe, but at the same time, a couple of my teammates are pushing out very haphazardly, and it's basically we had an advantage, and we've basically squandered that. It's like, why are you pushing out there? I just pulled back from the frickin' IS-3 for a reason. Like, it does not make any sense for you to, you know, push out there into him. Like, you just wait for him to come in and basically get the damage that way. That way you're pre-aimed. You don't have to worry about anything, you know, basically shooting you before you're aimed in there. But that IS-3 is probably going to come around this corner, if I'm not mistaken. IS-3's played very safe. It's like we have 3 minutes left. Ah, shit, there's that IS-3. Just there's still this IS up here. I'm just gonna let this IS-3 come around, hopefully. Yep, there we go. That's how you do it. You wait for them to make the mistake. Granted, I hope I do not bounce here. Oh my god. I kind of did that to myself. Whew, thank you for getting him now. That was just a pretty big miss that I just made. But with only 3 minutes left, we kind of need to pick it up. It's just, oh lord. The E-25 can end me pretty easily. Oh, he's got 9. Lord. That's not good. I'm actually gonna get it hidden. Fuck, and the E-25's gonna kill me now. I do not know where he is. Yep. I was trying not to show my sides because the sides on this are really weak, but gotta love that freaking camouflage of the E-25. It's fucking ridiculous sometimes. Rock, paper, scissors, I can play the Locust, yes. That's just, I hate E-25s when it comes down to basically the camouflage like that. That's what's broken about that tank, that it can fire, you know, that close to you without you being able to see it. You know, if it's an equal fight where, you know, you can actually see the thing when it's firing at you at close range, mid range, then, you know, I don't mind fighting them then. But obviously that one has like a five skill crew, tons of camo on it. Oh Lord. But oh well. I was trying my best with that tank there, but usually when, you know, patience is definitely something that not a lot of people have when you play this game. And, you know, we had guys basically pushing into enemies that were just sitting there waiting for him. So hello Phil, nice to see you. Yeah, I can play the T14 and the KV2. I actually just got equipment back on my T14, so I can do that. So I have the M48 up after this, Indian Panzer, Locust, T14, KV2. No problem, Stormzy. Yeah, usually if, you know, he typed in Discord here, yeah, usually if, you know, I do crappy in the tank the first time, I'll give it another shot. Alright, I don't have enough armor on this, where typically for a heavy I like to actually weave my way down this way. But with the amount of TDs that they have, specifically ones that can't fight very long at long, or not long ranges, but close ranges. Hello Labobo, nice to see you. Oh god, there's a lot of... Oh my god, there's a lot of people heading north. Or not north, but to the hill. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think I might load up a little bit of heat here. Good. Some of them's going off at a hill. Not necessarily... I don't mind them going up on the hill as long as they push hard. That's pretty much what I would want them to do. Because I'd be confident that myself and the E100, I'm just hoping their bat chat already can't get me. Thanks. Okay, he's going to move up. I was like, I can't do anything now. I still can't exactly do anything too well here. Yeah, it's heat shells, but sue me. It's part of the game. Those guys should have just... If they would have pushed and not stopped first, like their first movement, they would have taken out at least the E100 by now. I'm a little bit curious why the E5 pushed up as hard as it did. Thank you very much, Echo Baby, for the tip. I'm a little curious why he did that, since you know, granted it would be a little annoying if he was sitting back where I was still, but basically our other sides, yeah, it's not exactly the surefire shot that I want. I'm gonna actually, no, I'm gonna take a little bit. Yeah, these guys they're pushing into... It's, yeah, we don't need to push here right now. Our other side's fairly open. Hello Rambo, nice to see you. Yeah, it's just being aggressive sometimes does not pay off. I saw that this T-30 had moved, which I might get shot here by him, but yeah, I think that was the best move for me available. It's just, we're gonna get flanked behind here for my next clip. I just hope this 704 does not spot me. The 704 is there. Oh, E5, I did not expect him to do that. Shit, it's just now that our E100's alone. I didn't think that was gonna happen. Ah, fuck. Oh my god. But you can do a lot of damage in this tank, but sometimes it just, you know, if I had a little bit more armor, I would have played that a little bit differently. Shit, I did not need to take that at 704 shot, but I did. I'm definitely gonna die, but again, it's just classic case. A lot of our team, they took damage that they shouldn't have by trying to push up. They weren't focusing on not taking damage, and the enemy was just sitting there taking off more than we could do, and it's just unfortunate. So, like a lot of times, like yes, you're focusing to do damage, but if you're not alive, you can't do damage, you know? So getting yourself into bad spots, trying to force things, especially early on in a match, doesn't usually make sense. Like sometimes if you're behind, you know, like mid-match or late match, then you take that risk because, you know, it's either you take that risk or you're going to lose. Early on, though, typically it just ends up, you know, coming back to bite you. Hello, Abdul. Nice to see you. Hopefully you're having a good day. But like Siegfried line here, that last match, high caliber, pretty good amount of damage. Me and this Emil did a very good job, but the amount of people on our team that pushed out way too hard there into enemies and just trying to force it kind of cost us the match there. But pretty decent match for that. And then for this one, again, most damage, and I was in the fight pretty much the whole time, but we just had so many tanks just die too early on where your team has no chance to, you know, rack up the damage comparable to the enemy if you're losing tanks left and right in the beginning. It just doesn't work that way. Once you get down a couple tanks, especially early on, it's hard for you to keep up damage-wise against the enemy. The FV215B heavy, it's not the best tier 10 heavy, I would say, in a sense. Essentially, with the rear mounted turret, it's not good fighting on hilly terrain, but its armor not too great either unless you can find like a dead tank to hide behind, because the turret pointing directly at the enemy, essentially tier 10 TDs or premium tanks, or not premium tanks, premium shells can damage you, but not much else can. Essentially what it is it's more of a mid to long range in a way, but it has a pretty good health pool and, you know, a pretty crazy accurate high DPM gun for a heavy. If you throw APCR in it, it's kind of broken because you can pretty much just drive around, and the on the move accuracy is like basically like the M41 or M48A1 here, where it's pretty pinpoint accurate. But it's good, it's just not good in the traditional heavy sense. It's more like, I hate to say support heavy, but it's more of a, you know, it's a damage dealer, not a, you know, tank armor, you know, tank shots, stuff like that. But if you get hilly terrain, even like this, like little bumps, it's going to be hard pressed to fight in it because your lower plate's going to be front and center for everyone to hit. Very nice TVP. I'm going to cover your reload here. Ooh, Lord. I really wish I had tracked you there, but I have no idea what you are doing, AT-15. I do not even feel bad for him. Like... Let's get him to slow down. Ooh, God. Oh, where'd my TVP go? I'm pretty sure I weigh a little bit more than him, so... The problem I have is I need to wait for a slightly side shot, but my backup all ran away from me. More or less. Alright, now the TVP's kind of coming back in here. For some reason, I thought that E5 was pointing left. Very nice, thank you. That worked out pretty well. I don't like going one line anymore. It is usually better 3 or 4 line. The main counter to it is people shooting off of the hill at you. So no problem, Rambo. Yeah, one good thing about the 215B is Wargaming's not replacing it with the Chieftain anymore. Basically, that's going to be a mini branch at some point. Whether it starts at around tier 5 or 6 or 8, nobody really knows for sure yet. But, you know, if you like the tank, it's not like they're going to rip it out from under you like they were initially planning. I'm definitely playing this a little bit risque. Okay, I'm hoping, yep, his front's turned that way. So that leads me to believe that I can get a shot on this IS-3 maybe. That eventually he might start pointing this way once this E100 comes around. Hello Matthew, nice to see you. Here we go. I just basically didn't want to get shot. Already a decent amount of damage, 3,200. Well, 1,000 assist damage. No HP though, but I blocked one shot from that E5, which probably would have killed me if he got a slightly higher than average damage roll. His TVP is rushing in for some damage here. I'm gonna try to sneak that shot in. Pretty good match though, especially for Tundra, which for a fat little medium like this can be a little difficult at times. But the M48, you know, ever since the last little buff they gave it, it's basically returned to be a pretty solid tier 10 medium. Really the only thing holding it back is slightly large size and slightly poor armor. But that was a pretty good match there. Yeah, 3,300 damage. Our team did a pretty damn good job though. And the enemy just, again, took a lot of damage and, you know, say like their IS-4, even their E5 in a way, and, you know, they forced it trying to push where I was at. AT-15 forced that side too. When they saw that, you know, the TVP, myself and a couple others were, you know, we basically slightly beat them out to that area of the map. Instead of keep pushing, they should have just basically fell back a little bit to their base. Would have been better off and harder for us to advance on them. Instead, you know, they have to do what, you know, the standard play on that match is, and it came back to bite them. Sometimes, you know, you can't get to the spot you want to. Forcing it typically ends up with you dying. That happens a lot to that tank, Rambo. I think I did that, was it yesterday? It might have been, I forget, but I've seen M4A1s get one-shotted by arties so many times. That's what happens when you have basically, you know, the M4 chassis facing tier 8 to 10 tanks. Well, the new changes to arty, you know, from Sandbox, they did say, you know, it was well received. There is a third iteration of the Sandbox server coming up in the near future. It's going to have tier 9 and 10 light tanks in it. So they're finally getting close with that as well. I think the arty changes are good though. Basically, it promotes working with your team, and, you know, you're still able to get a decent amount of damage off for, you could say, the campiest of offenders. You know, for people sitting out in no cover, basically you're able to get a lot of damage on them still playing an SPG, but a lot less direct damage for, you know, people moving around. You're not going to get snapshotted and one-shotted going like 30 kilometers an hour anymore in a tank from an SPG. Even against, say, a T92. You might get splashed with a little bit of damage, get stunned and tracked, but it's not, you know, it's not a direct damage dealer as much anymore. Unless a tank's just sitting there for like 2 or 3 shots that you're taking on it in a row. I think it's a good change though. Is it perfect? You know, it's probably never going to be perfect. But more or less, it's definitely better than what's in the game now. And, albeit the stun mechanic can get a little bit annoying sometimes if you have multiple already shooting at you. It's just something where it's still people are going to receive it better than getting you know, direct HP damage, because the stun effect wears off after, you know, about 10 seconds or so at high tiers. Crap. The turret on the Indian Panzer, I feel like, is a little bit weaker than the PZ-58 months, which is, you know, the most comparable tank to the Indian Panzer, I feel like. Smart, smart, smart. Not smart. I really hope that some of these guys, you know, back left of me in like C1, D1, don't just sit there to the entire match. Because if, you know, the 3-4 of us over here start to take a little bit too much damage, they could push on us, and it could be a problem. Hello, Justin Tomato. Nice to see you. But with all these German changes that I guess had to do with like weak spot guides, tank guides, and stuff, and now potentially, you know, tier 10 lights, the RD changes, I'm gonna have my hands full for quite some time with all these articles I need to. He's gonna come around. Need to do with that Type 59, how he pushed before. I should have pulled back a little bit. I just kind of I knew that he was gonna push around there hot. Oh god, that was a mistake. The Indian Panzer here, just, it doesn't have a ton of armor, unfortunately. Like, you can get some bounces off of lower tiers, but for the most part, you're going to be struggling to deflect many, if any, shots. I was trying to get a lucky little hit on him. I just don't want to poke out too far because they have tank destroyers in their base. Hello, Robo. Nice to see you. Yeah, no, more or less, you know, they're doing to Artie what, you know, should have been done a while ago. And, you know, outside of the people who are like, oh, you need to remove it, which is never going to happen. The game, you know, it's way too old to remove, what, like 4 dozen tanks or so almost, I think. 3 dozen, something like that. It's way too late in the game to expect them to do that. This is the best case scenario. It's basically what I was shooting for. Reduce penetration, remove non-HE shells, you know, remove or reduce damage, increase rate of fire, and splash a little bit. It's just they added the stun mechanic into, which, you know, is a nice little bonus on top for SPG players, and it adds another element to the game because they are taking out some basically depth of the game by adding reusable consumables, because, you know, no longer do you have to, you know, say, do I use this repair kit on my ammo rack or, you know, my engine, something like that. You know, so it does add a little bit of depth in the game. So they did a pretty decent job. They still, you know, they're still going to tweak it, so the numbers that you saw from Sandbox, they're not finalized by any means. Hello, Vorin. Nice to see you. Hello, Eliza Marshmallow. Nice to see you as well. Hopefully, both of you are having a pretty good days. So, up after this, I have the Locust. And then T-14, KV-2. Honestly, at this point, I don't care if I die. I really just want to end the battle. I do have a weak spot guide up for the super personal WoT Guru, but you just try to shoot him under that little space armor side, and the turret's pretty weak since it uses the stock Persian turret. You can get some pretty easy shots if you just shoot under the space armor there, if you don't want to hit the cupolas on top. I'm just going to see if Artie's down this way. You know, if he tries to come down here, this will be... Yep, there we go. So let's say the shortest little route for me rather than go into the center. Oh my god, that shot. IS-7? Yes, I do have the IS-7. Not really. It's like tomorrow, you know, the new patch is coming out, apparently. If not tomorrow, then Friday, but it's pretty much, I would say almost confirmed it's coming out tomorrow for every other server since it hit the Russian server today. So Friday's stream will be pretty fun. I'm pretty much going to be picking up the Object 252U. I'm very excited for that tank. It's not as overpowered, game breaking as some people make it out to be, but it will be an adjustment period because it's basically going to bring a lot of armor into tier 8 matches. I can't believe I missed that shot, but it happens. Rambo, essentially with consumables, if you know about World of Warships, I'm kind of irked about it because basically what they're doing with them is if, you know, repair kit in a match there, when you use it, basically you have a 90-second timer until you can use it again. But if you use the premium one, basically, you know, it drops it down to 60 seconds. So it's going to make the premium consumables basically the default consumables for everybody, or else you're at a pretty significant disadvantage. That's how you're still going to have to pay for them every match if you use them, but more or less, yeah. In a way, it's actually going to increase the, if it works like World of Warships, because you're paying for them every single match, even if you don't use them or not, just to have them equipped, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, in a way, it's actually going to, if depending on how they do the cost of them, it's actually going to increase the credit grind. Alright, IS-7. I don't have the KV-3 yet still, but I can do the Panther 2, Type 59. I can do the T-95 as well. So up next here is the little teeny teensy M22 Locust. Typically I don't do under tier 4 tanks, but this is a pretty fun tank to play sometimes, so that's why I have it in the front of my garage. Yeah, no problem, Warren. You know, like we were kind of saying yesterday, a few of us, yeah, you can stick with it, but yeah, I wish I had credits for the new Germans and even free experience for them. Yeah, that's a potential beaver. The new Russian premium, like the Object 252U, like I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. Like I do have a weak spot guide because the main selling point of it is it's more or less its armor. I'm just gonna link that here if it loads. Come on, website load. I won't play a tier 1. But nice try. Alright, I'm gonna try to talk about the object. It's just hard talking when I'm driving a light tank. But the main selling point is its armor. The armor is pretty fantastic for a tier 8 tank. Now, there are weak spots frontally. Some people make it out to be like it's immune frontally to everything. But basically, it's going to be one of the easier, if not easiest, premium tanks to play, you know, against most players, because they're not going to be able to penetrate you, because they're not going to know to aim at your cupolas, and if they have a decent amount of pen, aim at your lower plate. One thing to consider is, you know, basically the mobility on it, it's a little bit slower than the IS-6, if I'm not mistaken. So the mobility on it is not downright terrible, but it's not necessarily good by any means. I'm going to have to start shifting this way since there's that Wolverine. So that's a slight negative against it. The gun on it, the gun handling's not the best. However, it does have good alpha for its tier, has very good penetration. But compared to other tier 8 heavy tanks, especially ones that don't have preferential matchmaking, no! Thank you. Even though I'm dead. Well, this worked out good. At least I got a little bit of assist damage, but I tried and I flipped over. Basically, the gun on it. Let's just, before I hop into the next tank, here's the T-14. Alright, let's bring up T-34 heavy here. Average DPM is 1900, and this is with my crew, and also the equipment. The base level of DPM on the Object 252U, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they've changed it, is a little over 1600. Crap. I need to actually get a crew in this. I haven't played it in so long. Alright, let's send these guys to the barracks. So the DPM is a pretty big limiting factor as far as if people know, basically if an intelligent player, let's just say that, comes across you. I'm actually going to pop this guy in. And they know how to damage you, basically ignore you. Your DPM's low enough to where, you know, it's definitely the main drawback of that tank. It's not a huge drawback, don't get me wrong, because it does have high damage per shot and also good penetration. But, you know, it's going to be, you know, it's up there with the T-2065, AMX M4 Liberté. It's going to be a very good premium, but at the same time, you know, DPM being a little bit low, it's going to be good, but at times, say you come across another tier 8, you know, like elite heavy tank or something like that, and they can get shots on you, you're definitely going to be, you know, a little bit held back by your DPM because you can't raise that above theirs, more or less. What happened, Lauren? I guess saw your message there. The best thing of the IS-7, probably the combination of its front and side armor and its speed. Thank you again, Beaver. I wish I could get some credits from people too, because too many credits I need. I have not played this tank in ages, so yeah, bear with me here. But the IS-7, you can angle it a little bit. The front, you know, the upper hull is strong enough where you can add a little bit of angle to it. And so many people aim at your a lower plate that sometimes if you angle it at the last second and, you know, your lower plate becomes too strong for them to actually damage you, they'll still take a shot there and bounce off just because they're too lazy to hit somewhere else. But it's definitely, you know, you kind of have to learn what you can penetrate, what you can't, or what can pen you, what can't, on your upper plate, since, you know, as you angle that, it does get weaker. And of course, there's another TD back there. I'm gonna, ooh, God. Yeah. The gun on this definitely lacks a little bit of penetration, to say the least. Even with APCR. I'm going to catch up on chat in a second here, because this is what I'm kind of afraid of. There's another TD out there now. Okie dokie. The T-14 armor is, it's okay, but mainly the turret's the selling point for its armor. I forgot all about that guy. God damn you. I'm glad that you just bounced off of me. But I'm gonna catch up on chat in a second since this match is moving a little bit differently than I thought. I just lost a little bit too much HP early on to kind of push like I'd like to. This TD kind of threw a wrench in my plans as well. I wouldn't do that. You're gonna lose some damage crossing there. Are you freaking kidding me? Penetration, why do you gotta suck so bad? Hey, yeah. And the freaking Artigas got me. But T14, it's a decent little premium tank, but the gun, if I can, yeah, it doesn't show my ammunition anymore. Yeah, it just really lacks penetration. Wargaming buying Armored Warfare Echo Baby, I would, no. You know, Obsidian, the people developing it, you know, essentially, I wouldn't say got fired, but, you know, they're no longer developing it. The person that published it, my.com, I believe is the company, they still own it, and they plan on specifically focusing on the Russian server, but it's not like they're closing the game down or anything. Nor, it wouldn't exactly make sense for Wargaming to buy it, honestly, anyway. Yeah. Honestly, while it was competition initially, Armored Warfare, I feel like, you know, people just more or less, I'm glad to hear that, Lauren. Oh. Like I said, feel free, you know, to message me. Alright, so the KV2 here in a tier 8 match. Oh god. We just have tons of 6s and 5s and then 8. Oh god. Thank you very much. I'm glad I could help. Yeah. High tiers are pretty expensive, Rambo. It's like I need to buy... Oh, I don't even know how many freaking tanks. I have a minimum 30 million in the next, you know, basically once the patch releases, I have a minimum 30 million worth of credit or credits that I would need to buy all the tanks that I need to or would like to. And if you add in like say like the T10, ST1, KV4, KV3, M103, M46 Patton, like those tanks that I've used to have but I sold like years ago and I need to buy back, that's oh yeah. Too much. Oh lord. Thank you for the subscription, Emma Hen. I should have asked them not to shoot me, Labobo. I need to remember to say that out next time. Beaver, I do not know. Well, not only is it technically illegal and against the user agreement, I wouldn't play anybody else's account. I'd like to progress my own account. I've been offered before, you know, like the people that want to pay people to grind a tank or credits out for them or make their stats better, but no. You can pay, I don't care how much money someone would pay me, I wouldn't do it. Oh, team, why are you... We're pushing in very hard to where it's going to be... Hopefully I don't die here. Please don't shoot me. It's basically a little hard for us to advance when they're back there in B1. If they have tanks behind them. There's not a lot of cover for us to push out from. Especially, you know, we have low tiers, and they pushed in pretty damn hard there. Onto 2 tier 8s. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. He has got hit probably... Yeah, it looks like the Borsig. It's just... Again, they're trying to force things. And now, you know, I can't exactly get very good shots here, because... Yeah. Ain't no way, no how I can shoot like up here, but... I wish I could help finish him off, but that's not going to be... It might be possible, though, if I... It's just crossing the gap right now doesn't make too much sense for me. I could try to pop out if they're aiming, you know, at the T-34 area now. It's just... Whew, there we go. Awesome. Yeah, I can get to the Scorpion G. Thanks, Labobo. Boren had messaged me on Discord. Sorry. I usually say if I'm responding to Discord stuff or, you know, the YouTube chat here. I'm trying to help you, T150, but you got yourself in a little bit of a pickle, didn't you? And we're probably both gonna die. Unless I can get a huge hit on this Ferdinand somehow. Because even still, there's about a 20% chance that I kill him when I fire, my own guy at least. And then I still have to contend with, you know, the dead tank in between the Ferdinand and myself. That helps out a little bit. I would very much like to help out like the Borsig south of me. But if I do that and the T-150 dies, then yeah, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. Is he gonna... Dude, you know, I was about to say, if you get flanked by a Ferdinand and don't even move, that's on you. Please don't have a repair kit. I'm sure he does, but you're very lucky that I stuck with you, dude. Very lucky. Just okay, there's somebody behind me now. I was about to say I want to help out this Borsig, but likelihood of me popping out there, they're going to be aiming at me and kill me, is pretty high. I can play the mouse, Emma, yes. I have a couple of requests. You know, I'm going through requests in order, but I can get to it. You know, Beaver, I've played on the test server. Thanks for the offer, but you know, I'm at the tier 9 one. The KV2's gun, yeah, it's a pretty damn good gun. It's just, you know, sometimes it... You died in the wide open? Well, that's your fault, Oho. Like, maybe you shouldn't have went into the wide open. Yep, pretty much like I thought. He's right... Yeah, I can't even hit him. Honestly, at this point, though, not to say that we've already lost, but our ISU 152 is going to die down there. 2 tanks against 1. There was very little chance. Actually, no. I was going to say there's very, very little chance of him surviving that, but that Strev 74, he didn't push on him. So, just this E25 is going to probably kill me. It would be smart just to honestly cap that E25, but he's gonna probably rush in here and try to... I'm probably gonna... Yeah, no. But that automatic fire extinguisher kind of saved me. This is a very poor shot. But I'm trying here. I got that one big hit on the Borsig, but after that, you know, the Ferdinand I helped out with, but too many of our people, you know, most of your losses, like usual, they basically pushed out there and... Oh, Lord, how did that miss? Lucky little bastard. I'm going to see if this Borsig can kill me, because I don't like giving kills to E25. How did that freaking miss him? Like, I even spent a little bit of time to aim in there, and it completely whiffed. Alright, so Scorp G. Is there any... there's the mouse. Sure, Echo Baby. If you want a platoon, I can platoon with you. Alright, let me get another personal reserve going here. Come on. I don't know exactly what the turret block on the KV2. Alright, Up next, I have a IS-7 request. I'm pretty sure you have Tier 10's Echo. Yeah. I have the IS-7, Panther 2, Type 59, T-95, Scorpion G, and the Mouse. Don't think I missed any requests there. If I did, please let me know. Yeah, that last battle didn't exactly work out too well. The last couple shots, but I was trying. I didn't play the KV2 wrong there. It's just, when you have tier 8s on your team and you're in a tier 6, I did a pretty good chunk of damage for a tier 6 tank, but you're not able to, push if need be against higher tiers. And that's basically the wall I ran into. So, yeah, I can get back to the T-57. I can do that, Lucas. Good morning, Lemoncello. Nice to see you. Sorry, chat moves so fast at one point there. I'm kind of like catching up to it still. You guys know where I'm going to head, especially with this big chunk of TDs and even up there. They're pretty much going to set up either there, down on the beach, or sometimes a couple head over here. But easier to push this side of the map until they change it. When they do revamp Overlord here, it will make heading out, basically to the 1 and 4 line more viable, and even in the center towards the 6 and 7 line. But right now, it's it's a pretty, not to say boring map in a way, but it basically comes down to whatever side is able to push across first safely. Hello, PZK 2. I wish the KV2 had my shells guided last match. I just wanted to pop that E25, even if I didn't kill him, but... Beaver, I use OBS. Like, I've tried XSplit before. Adobe has one as well. Let's see, there's one other I tried, but, OBS is the free one, and honestly, it actually works the best. Best quality, easiest, I feel like, to use. Again, that first shot was kind of lucky from me, but that second shot was on you. But yeah, I would say OBS, from what I've used, it provides the best quality, and it doesn't use a ton of resources. It's, it still uses resources because you're streaming, but I'm just helping you out there, Bat Chat. You still have a pretty good amount of shells, so I'd rather you get a little bit more burst if you can. Shit, dude. I know you're not doing that on purpose, but yeah. I'm just glad that Emil 2 was... Maybe his turret got jammed, because he wasn't turning his turret. That always throws me off, too, because it doesn't happen that often. But our team is deciding to push into their massive TDs. I do not know why they would want to do that, but alas, they are. They're trying. And, whoop, sorry, WZ120. Yeah, we need to help out Echo here. But there's two guys back there. They should be fine there. I'm just gonna take a little bit of a leap of faith here. Excuse me. Took a little bit of damage. I didn't want to. He was shooting down on me, which is why he, could penetrate me a little easier than I thought. Just didn't click with me right away. Ah, shit. Now there's a 113. This is no bueno. There's no point in me pushing if, well, A, the freaking Girl 15. I don't know why he's sitting on the goddamn beach. But there's no point in me pushing with this 113 here. I should have went back. Sorry, Echo. Oh, hello, Isaac. You didn't know I had a YouTube channel? I was gonna say, I gotta post it everywhere. But chat overlay, Beaver. Google, if you are using YouTube or Twitch. If you're using Twitch and like Streamlabs, they have something for that. But just Google like YouTube chat or YouTube gaming chat OBS, like transparent background, something like that. It'll give you the framework for, you know, the chat. But you know, I had to tweak. Oh Lord, this is not good. I had to tweak mine a little bit. Luckily, I know a little bit of code, so that helped me out. I was hoping they weren't going to push like that, but you know, this is just hard for us because now we're down by a pretty good chunk of tanks. This has kind of got out of our hands here. And of course I missed. I might as well just push in here. Thank you very much for bouncing off of me. Thank you, IS3A. I really don't mean that though. I just angled my side for that shot there. Oh, Artie, why you gotta kill me here? And he's gonna. Nope. I had the ramming skill, so he didn't get me there. But 4,000 damage, but still a loss. Echo tried holding down the center, and I just didn't think they were gonna push there, honestly. I'm not Indonesian, no. There are a couple people, you know, from over in that part of the world, though. Hello, Lemoncello. Sure. Yeah, like I said, if I'm platooning and there's an open spot, you know, all you gotta do is message me. Panther 2 is up next here. Gunnar, which hello to Gunnar. I like YouTube, which is why I'm here, of course. But oh, this guy's gonna get banned. Goodbye, Beck. I'm pretty sure I sent you an invite, but I'll send you one more. I was about to say, I don't want to get a, if possible, the Panther 2. Please no. YouTube, essentially, it provides better quality on my end and your end. Essentially, I can send them a higher bit rate, better, you know, resolution and quality compared to Twitch, where, you know, I streamed a couple weeks ago. YouTube was down for about 20 minutes, and there was a few problems there. Which, okay, you're in a match, so I'm just going to hop into one here. I don't know how long it's going to take you. But it was blurry as hell. Some people can, if anyone here was watching it, they can definitely say that compared to YouTube here. But more or less, the only thing Twitch has going for it right now over YouTube, I would say, you know, the quality is on YouTube side. And the only thing they have is Twitch right now focuses more on their talent, per se. You know, they have a, you know, the partnership program is very select. Only the top people get into it. But the sponsorship button that you get through it, especially when tied with Amazon Prime, where people can subscribe to someone, I think it's like $1 a month or something for free. The talent side, they definitely, Twitch focus on keeping them, because if you're a Twitch partner, you can't stream to, say, YouTube and other streaming services while also streaming as a Twitch partner, So they kind of lock, like, the best streamers, up in deals where they can't go to other services. Um, YouTube is rolling out something like a sponsorship button like that, but it's still in beta testing. Very limited people are able to get that, even more limited than Twitch. Like I myself, I'm a YouTube partner. Blah, I'm getting tongue tied. Um, I have been for like 3 or 4 years, but the way Google beta tests, they kind of cherry pick people here or there before ramping it up once it's out of testing. But I would say that's the only thing Twitch really has at this point. They were, I would say, about a year and a half ago, before YouTube basically shifted its focus to streaming, with YouTube Gaming and dedicated stuff for streaming games. Twitch was by far the better experience. But now Twitch basically, not to say it's riding on popularity, like it does have a few other little perks, but when you're just thinking about quality as far as like the video that you're getting and chats, everything's pretty much the same back end, moderators, you can make clips out of your videos while you're streaming here, stuff like that. They're pretty comparable there, but Twitch, more or less, it's the popular place to watch, and it does a very good job focusing, more on the, basically locking up the best talent, more or less. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. I don't think it's a bad place to stream. I would say people just starting out, if you don't have a YouTube base or a viewer base from like a website or something, Twitch is the better spot to go. But, YouTube, you can pretty much, if you're able to live stream on YouTube, you can pop whatever freaking bit rate you want to YouTube. Like I stream over 4,000 kilobytes a second to YouTube. Twitch locks you if you're not a partner at like 2100, I think, and you only can stream at like 720p without it looking like mud splattered on the screen and it's blurry. YouTube, you can throw whatever you want at them. You can even stream at 4K, 60 frames per second, 360 view, even if you want it to. YouTube partners, if I had a 360 cam, I could do that. Not that that would be pretty interesting. And they allow their viewers to pick their quality after that, without harming the viewer side. If it's buffering too much, just drop it down one little notch. That's nice little nice little thing. Hopefully that makes any sense though. Well, yeah, it's definitely like Twitch partnership. It's very hard for unless you have, I forget the concurrent viewers, which we've kind of lost this match here. I'm just gonna try not to get killed by Artie. But it definitely is hard to get Twitch partnership. Like honestly, like I wouldn't even be able to get it, even if say I got like 500 more viewers concurrently here on YouTube. They would still not accept me if I wanted to hop over to Twitch. Whereas YouTube partnership, you need, I think it's like 1,000 subscribers to where it's automatic, but they take it on a case-by-case basis where if you're making videos and streaming regularly, there's a good chance they're going to give you partnership where you can put ads on your video. You can accept donations straight through YouTube. They have something called Super Chat now. It used to be called fan funding, but really the only thing YouTube doesn't have right now that Twitch does is a widely available sponsorship button, more or less, where people can pay basically a monthly subscription fee to support your stream directly. Like you can make private videos that people can buy, but that's not necessarily something that people would do on a wide scale basis. Only the largest YouTubers do that, like their paid programming. But like I have that option available. If that doesn't make sense though to do. But I would say starting out though, if you're starting from zero, like I'm gonna just end with this though. Um, if you're starting at 0, what you can do, I forget the program or the website. There's a free program. I forget what it's called again. It does have a pretty big delay, like between you and the viewer, but what it allows you to do is to stream both to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Try that. See if you catch on as far as viewers go on one over the other, and make a decision from there. But outside of the hefty delay, like I would say it's at least like almost a minute between you and the viewers. It's it's something that could help you get people faster, more or less, because you're streaming to multiple places at once. But you do have to stream to the lowest common denominator as far as quality, which would be Twitch. I just screwed that up. Oh Lord, I'm not blaming you. I'm just chatting too much and in my head. I wasn't paying too much attention. I'll send you another invite, Lemoncello, if you still want to join. Sorry about that Panther 2 match. I'm going to try to play it a little bit later on again. I'm pretty sure you requested it, Abdul. Sometimes when I go on like little rants, it's a little hard for me to stay on top of my game. I wish I had that upload speed, Beaver. I have freaking Comcast, and I have to pay an arm and a leg just to get, like, I have 200 megabits or megabytes, whatever, upload, or not upload but download, and I had to pay for their top package that's below their $300 a month just for internet. Is the only one higher in my area, and that's fiber to your house, so same upload and download. But who's gonna freaking pay that, plus $1,000 installation fee? But I had to pay that much just to get 10 megabits upload. Like freaking kidding me? Like, the same goddamn wire. Let me have the same download and upload. Don't throttle it. Hello, Mikey. Right now, Mikey, I have 2 other people in the platoon. At some point, after a few battles, maybe one of them could pop out. If you want to join then, just feel free to message me so I have your username readily at hand. Yeah. Well, good luck, Gunner. I went into, like, I've been doing videos and like my website WoT Guru for years now. I went into streaming, not really for the money aspect, but I'm playing, why not stream? And it's nice to chat with people while playing. But if you go into it like that, I would definitely say YouTube then. Especially if you're someone who you're going for the best quality available and best for you and your viewers. It might not have the largest viewer base right now, but it is growing. I don't mind this map, honestly. I would take this over a few other maps. Sure, Mikey. Yeah, I'll let you know. Even though you're watching, so you'll definitely know. But Lemoncello, so V-Step, he just popped in, but I think he did mention he would hop out if someone else wanted in, but not expecting that right away. But I got plenty of time in the stream here. I'm going to at least 11 a.m., so I have over an hour and a half left. Plus, I can go a pinch longer today. Probably not until, I went till noon yesterday. Kind of threw off my day a little bit too. I spent about 2 hours after that picking up, it was free, which is nice. I thank my brother and his wife's family a lot. I got basically a free table out of it. So they're moving. They own like a jewelry. Her name is Julie, and like clothing stores, and they're in the process of moving. Why did I do this? Lord. It's just the KV5. He's not in a position to push up for me right now. And yeah, I'm going to have to play another battle. The only chance I have right now is to try to not kill myself. I don't know why I pushed there, honestly, but it's all up to you, Echo Baby. I hate when people have bad matches, dude. Like, I hate when people are like, oh, they're shitty. Like, well, maybe if Artie was shooting the T-29 and T-32, I wouldn't have, you know, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to damage them after I pushed up. It's just, yeah, they weren't even getting shot at, so. 74 bucks a month. Oh, I wish I paid that. I do live in, I don't know where you live, but New Jersey, everything costs a fortune. It's not one of the highest, cost of living states to live in for a reason. But just internet alone for me, like I have a cable and stuff through Comcast too, but just internet alone would be for something less than what I currently get through a bundle, because you're only able to get their top internet through a bundle. Go figure. Would be about 88 bucks for me. So yay. It wasn't sarcasm. I do like Sand River. It's just, I find Assault to be, I like it, but it depends on your team. Like in that scenario, I probably shouldn't have pushed around, and if I did push around, I would have been better off fighting these two guys from here, but I would have been wide open from the side. So that's why I went over here, but then after I got there, I'm like, crap, I can't damage them, because if I had pushed up, they would have killed me. Trying to fall back, kill me. Yeah, it was just a sucky move, but it happens. But unfortunately, Abdul, your requests aren't going too well today. Usually I get like ace tankers left and right in your battles. I will hop back into the Panther 2 and Type 59 later on now. Next up though is the Speed Demon T95. Tomorrow it finally gets the mobility boost it greatly deserves. Which, holy crap, we won Redshire. Awesome. But this is probably going to be my last match ever in the slow T95. Mikey, what restaurant? My family pretty much, we've owned a restaurant. It's in Cape May. It's called Alethia's. We own a historic, it's actually a national historic landmark, if I'm not mistaken. Hotel slash restaurant. So, more or less our restaurant is, it's hard to describe it at times. It's like a casual like seafood slash like American, more or less. And I know it's hard. It's technically is called American cuisine, because I went to classical French culinary school. So you're gonna have like filet, but like, yeah, it's hard to describe. Basically, we try to blend a line between, like, in Cape May, there's a lot of restaurants that do like really high end, expensive food. We blend the line between affordable fine dining, essentially. Like, most of our menu, it's higher end stuff, but we try to keep the prices low enough to where you're not paying like freaking 50 bucks for an entree. So, but that is a good arty map, yes. Hello, Master Beast. Nice to see you. Thank you for the subscription, Ronnie. Oh, it's just there's like almost nowhere. At least there's only one SPG, but it's still one SPG where if there wasn't any, I'd actually push in this somewhere. But there's just nowhere that I really can go here. I'm gonna I'm gonna shoot for here first, and then make the decision to push up or somewhere. But just to get over there is, I would say I'll get there at the 12-minute mark. Alright, so after this request though, just letting you guys know the list. With the Scorpion G, the Mouse, T57, and then I'm going to get back to the Panther 2 and Type 59. I could assume it would be pretty expensive up there, considering you know, the location of Iceland, and if they need to import food. Yeah, like I'm a sous chef, and my brother's the executive chef, so I basically fill every single role in the restaurant. I mainly work, earlier in the day because I manage. I also cook every day because it's not a large enough restaurant to, basically have, the top end executive chefs not cooking. Plus, it's family, so you can't have an easy job. But I run the morning day shift. He runs dinner, but it's pretty fun. Has its ups and downs though, working with family like any business. It's kind of sad that I'm already switching to APCR here. I probably should have switched it for my first shot because it'll be pretty key. Yep, I see that you see me. I'm gonna take your shot though, just so I can get that big hit off of him. Thank you, Strev. I will help you tag team this guy. Because I know that he's gonna run away. I'm not even gonna bother fixing my track right now, because I won't get another shot anyway. Yeah, I can add the meal one. Did you want in a platoon, PZK? Oh, invite you to the restaurant? Men's restaurant in Cape May. That's essentially, as far as related to me, they're my second cousins, but my dad's side of the family. Essentially, his dad's brother's family. But I get asked that all the time, honestly, from people living here. Are you Menz's restaurant? My family, though, it's in a Cape May / Alethea's, but my family, a long line. Like, we used to have. It's a pretty interesting story. Like 2 generations ago, basically my possibly great grandfather started he was a farmer and started basically a produce distributing company between like where we're at and like Philadelphia, New York. That turned into Men's food Men's distributors or something. And my grandfather, on my dad's side, expanded that into not only that, but like duck hunting charters, which probably is where my dad's not legal name, but name Duck came from, and 3 hotels / restaurants in the area. And yeah, pretty big footsteps to follow up in. But yeah, it's a pretty neat story. I'm pretty sure, when you're in elementary school doing like family history day and your family tree and everything, like mine's gigantic. I had a pretty interesting story for everybody. I can play the 183. Yes, I'll add the meal 1 and the 183 on. Oh. Iceland would be pretty fun to go to. Definitely better than Greenland. Sorry if anybody here lives in Greenland. But I'm just... I'm just driving around here. At least I got 2 shots off, but yeah, that's the T95. Come the next patch, I would actually be able to get somewhere a little bit quicker. It's kind of sad that 2 shots get you a mastery badge, 3rd class. Alright, Scorpion G. Oh lord. I'm on the wrong tanks here. There we go. I do not own that. No, unfortunately not. Mikey? I do not live in a hotel, no. I don't even live in Cape May, honestly. I guess technically it's called North Cape May, but yeah, I live about like 15 minutes out of town. Cape May houses, like say, like my house here, I bought it like a year and a half ago. It's about 2,000 square feet. That would be like 1 point, because my family's in real estate as well. It would be like 1.4 around there $1 million in Cape May. Don't have that kind of money. Not in the least bit. I'm glad that my parents do not spoil their children. You know, you gotta work for what you get. But yeah, as far as the hotel goes, not this. Yeah, it's a Victorian building, so not to say you wouldn't want to live in it, but in today's age, like it's very cool to go, but some people, like, we get complaints like, there's Wi-Fi in the building now, but we only just got that like 2 years ago, because it's a original building more or less. We have the oldest elevator in town too, where it's actually kind of terrifying going up it. You need like a bellhop elevator operator to actually bring you up in it, but everything's pretty old, so it's a very nice place to stay if not to say rough it, but you enjoy your family. Like, you have television, a phone, and Wi-Fi, but outside of that, it's not to say like you're living in 100 plus years ago, but because there is like air conditioning and stuff, but things are not 100% original, but it's Victorian hotel, so it's not going to be like luxury, like huge spaces and everything, because everything was smaller back then, unless you rent out like the large suites that are in the hotel. Yeah, pretty much island in the middle of nowhere. Yes, at least in Iceland, I'm pretty sure your energy is dirt cheap. I actually was reading something about that. I think, yeah, as Iceland was like trying to drill down into like a freaking volcano or something to harness geothermal energy or something along those lines. But indoor plumbing, yes, there's indoor plumbing. It's not that old. Mikey, I play on a PC. I don't think laptop would be able to. I don't think there's any laptop that would be able to honestly stream World of Tanks at almost max settings and at this quality. It would probably burst into flames. But I kind of wish I was back there now. But I kind of. Yeah, I could get over there in time. We'll see. It's just I was expecting, at least a tank or two to be over here, but I can't honestly be the frontline tank. Cool. I can only imagine, just from watching like travel shows and food shows and stuff, how small things are in Tokyo, since it's a pretty populated area plus different culture. See, that's pretty cheap. Oh, my energy bill. I wish my electric was cheaper, but coincidentally enough, after the stream yesterday, I had freaking solar people knocking on my door trying to rope me into getting. How did I miss that? Solar panels on my house. I'm like, no, I can't afford to buy them, and I'm not leasing them. Like them getting you in a contract, and I need a new roof, and those people just try to like hawk you here, like it's like freaking a used car salesman coming up to your door once a week. But every single time it's a different used car salesman. Why did I just do this? Yep, this was a mistake. I'm gonna have to take a shot before I die, but I'm playing very bad now. It's not your guys' fault, but sometimes I just get out of a rhythm. Yeah. Sometimes not to say it happens when I platoon either, but I do have trouble sometimes changing up with the different pace, between playing solo and platooning. But I'm just making stupid decisions here. Ugh. That sounds pretty interesting and also terrifying at the same time. But I did not do myself any favors there, but yeah. Sorry whoever requested the Scorpion G. I'm not the best at this tank though, because it is very large with port armor. Just both of you guys just stop pinging the map. I play best in tanks with at least a smidge of armor somewhere, because I get myself into trouble sometimes. Here's the hoping Echo can carry us here to the end. I definitely didn't do my team any favors though. I didn't even carry my own weight. But up next I have the Mouse, then I'm going to hop into the T-57 Heavy, and then the Panther 2, Type 59, Emil 1, and FV-215B. Maybe after these requests, like towards the end, I might end with a bit of premium tanks, because I do need to grind some credits out. Yeah, like at least I admit, like, I can be very patient in tanks, but unfortunately, like maps like this, when I get on a map where, say I sat in the base, it would have helped me out, but I hate basically relying on the enemy team to go where I need them to go to do damage, more or less. I like playing tanks where I can actively manipulate the fight to my liking. Well, that sounds pretty cool and efficient. I will say I'm glad I don't have to worry about that here, having like boiling stuff popping up under my house or something. I know it doesn't work like that, but I probably live. Yeah, see you around Limoncello. That's not you. I'm pretty sure I saw him earlier in the chat. He might still be here, but it's just some days, I've basically, what is it? This is like the fourth tank in a row that I've had that I've kind of stunk it up. I just get little streaks like this sometimes. So, but whoever else, I think Mikey, you wanted to hop into the platoon. Limoncello had to leave here. Feel free to message me if you want in still. Like next up, it's a tier 10, the Mouse. But sometimes, I you know, these past few tanks I haven't played right I've got myself in really crappy spots. See ya, Gunnar. Have a good day. There he is. I figured you're still here. But, oh, how did he bounce off of him? At least he got a bounce, but I'm surprised. He must have hit him on his gun mantlet for that to have bounced off of him. Alright, yeah, mouse here. Again, this tank's getting a pretty massive buff tomorrow. What a difference a day's gonna make. Not that I think it's a pretty good tank right now, so the buff's only gonna help it. Like if I was gonna rebalance it, I'd honestly only it basically just change its gun a little bit and the turret front like they are, but they're buffing it pretty significantly in the next patch. I don't know if you're in a... Nope. There you are. Alright, so here's the hoping playing a slower tank here. Let's... do you only have... I forget. Do you only have up to tier 8? Okay, let me... Yeah. I'll play... I can play a couple tier 8s with you. Yeah, I can do... Let me... Sorry, the people that requested this. Let me do these tier 8s here first. I'm going to do the Panther 2, Type 59, Emil 1. Then I'll pop into the Mouse, T57, and a 183. I forgot, yeah, he is up to tier 8. But it's all good. Thank you for the subscription, Josie Punder Taker Sparta? Maybe? Hello, Floyd. Floyd, where you can read up on the next patch. They have basically just the official World of Tanks website. It's like the Russian portal. Granted, the translation's not that great. Has everything up today, but if you look on the World of Tanks website, they have specific articles for 9.17 laying out what's coming out. You might just have to scroll through the last couple weeks to get to them. Basically, back to the main article was like 9.17.1 super testing. It lists all the changes they have. Well, the E5 nerf isn't... It's not a... Yes, it is a nerf, technically, but it's not as bad as you might think. It basically makes the tank, I would say, fair in a way. Because it was overperforming in a few areas as far as the armor changes that they're giving it. No problem. And there's also, you know, websites like Rita's statusreport.live and like the dailybounce.net that have things as well. I don't think people realize all the time that you can just shoot right through that. Ooh, Lord. I'm just seeing where, you know, their heavies are pushing. And they are going to basically cut us in half here. I would push straight up here, but being in the Panther 2, that's not exactly the, oh god, the strong point of this tank. Not that I want to fight against their heavy tanks and, you know, TDs and whatnot here, but oh god, I really hope they don't hit me here. basically, if I don't head over here and try to help out the teammates I have over here, we're going to get absolutely eviscerated over here to where we're just going to lose so many tanks that there's no chance for us to actually come back. He's probably going to hit me again. Just fortunately for us, this KV5 kind of isolated himself. This is really the chance that we have here. I just don't have enough premium rounds on the frickin' Panther 2 here to deal with this much armor, unfortunately. Yep, and you know, these are pretty good players that we're playing against over here, so they're smart enough not to make too many mistakes. And of course I shot a little bit too high there. At this point, yeah, there's pretty much no doubt about it that we're gonna lose. But this is my luck in the Panther 2. You're Croatian? That's pretty cool. Do I care? I don't not care, if that makes sense. But hello, nonetheless. Nice to see you. If you want any specific tanks for me to play, feel free to mention them. Okay, so I was gonna do Type 59, and if I could scroll down here. I got the Type 59, then the meal here. Okay, well, that works then. I'll hop into the mouse. Thanks for, you know, playing a match here, Mikey. So I got the mouse, T57, Type 59, a meal 1, and a 183 then. Thanks for the subscription. I can't pronounce your name, unfortunately. But thank you nonetheless. I'm actually gonna try it here. Team T Emerald? Maybe? I think that's what it says. Oh god, it's deleting. Anyway, thank you for the subscription. I think that's what it translated to. A Swedish tank? Yes. Like I have the meal 1 coming up, but I can play another Swedish one after that. After the request here, I will be, you know, towards the end of the stream, I'm going to tack on some premiums I need to get done. Typically, I start with premium tanks, but I'm going to end with them today. But I'll have time to pop into something like the Strev, the tier 9 I'm grinding. Alright, not exactly the map I was looking to get, but it's just, not to say you're stuck in one spot, but you're kind of stuck in one spot. Essentially going to the town, and we have so much armor that's going to head to the town that I really hope that our southern team does not die, because it'll be very difficult for us to get out of the town in a timely manner. But for everyone who's going to be playing tomorrow, like I'm not streaming tomorrow, but you know, I might be able to hop on a little bit. It just depends on if I get all these articles done that I need to on WoT Guru for the patch. If you're playing against an Object 252U and you have under, I would say 200 millimeters, I would say, or even 180, run away or flank it. Like the cupolas are 160 millimeters effective across most of the, you know, the front of it. It's just the angle bits are a little bit stronger. And the lower plate's over 200. It's about 218 to 224 millimeters effective. Favorite tank in nation, you know, American tanks and the nice one, Echo Baby. Um, the T-110E3 would be my favorite tank. Okay, I'm just figuring out where I need to set up based off of where these guys are at. He just took a pretty big hit there. Yeah, it's just we're a little bit late to the fight here. Kind of hoping that that T-57 would nudge up a little bit more. It's just... Sorry, E100. I'm trying to get it over to you, but I knew that these buildings were destructible, and shit, this T-10's coming in now. And there is this T-92 to contend with. With him. So I say I'm worried about going this way just in case this JPZ pops out and gets me, but there's also, you know, 183 here. But at least our southern team did a very good job. So I can actually play a little bit more open here. I'm sticking with APCR just in case I run across one of these heavier tanks. The AP shell's, you know, not reliable enough to even penetrate the lower plate at all times. Thank you very much. Good night, No Past. Hello, Dana. Nice to see you. I'm gonna go for the damage. How old am I? 26. Oh lord, he's still alive. This might hurt a little bit. I've played World of Tanks since about 2011. So many years. Ugh, excuse me. Yeah, basically like late 2011, early 2012, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. At least we got a nice little win here. But yeah, I was very glad that that southern side did a pretty good job. All right, so experience. Why don't I? I'll just put off one of them. Okay, so after this was T-57 request. Let's see. My account was, it doesn't even say it. Doesn't say it in here. Oh wait, there it is. That's when I started, July 2011. Hello, Jack. Nice to see you. But the patch should come tomorrow. It's just some days or sometimes it might be 2 days after. But I did see that the only reason I'm saying it might, there's a small possibility of it not coming tomorrow. You know, it did release on the Russian server basically today, but there are some technical problems from what I was reading. It was just kind of hard to understand. Some people were having problems with the patch, so I don't know if it's anything that they need to fix right away or if they want to hold it back from the other servers. But yeah, we shall see. Oh, hopefully you feel better, Mikey. Yeah, a lot of my family, you know, they came back from vacation uh, late last week, and a lot of them had like the flu and everything. I'm kind of keeping my distance until they're all feeling better. It's the last thing I need. I already have to contend with Ryan bringing home a lot of germs from, you know, being a high school teacher. So I don't think I need flu from halfway, you know, across the U.S. But all right, I'm gonna stick with AP. You know, if there was something, say like a mouse Type 5 heavy with a ton of armor that I could run across to first, I would load up heat just to get a big first hit in. But my main problem here is T-57 doesn't have the best armor, of course, and you're a pretty big target because of your damage capability. So artillery's probably gonna focus on me if... Yeah, I was about to say, I wish I would have seen him. I wanted to put a shot into him. How much would I rate World of Tank? What do you mean? Like, review it as far as how people do like a 1 to 10 score? It's like, this is the only game that's ever kept my attention for more than like a year. I'd give it like a like an 8 out of 10 if that's what you're asking. I would only detract a little bit just because you know, the game does have a very steep learning curve, and it could be fixed, you know, as far as the crew layouts and retraining and basically the barrier for new players. But I'm just hesitant to go anywhere because our team is pushing the frickin' beach. Like, have people not learned yet, especially in a goddamn mouse, that you do not push the beach? It does not work. Yeah, there's that tank that's spotting me. Yeah, it is that time of year, you know, to kind of get sick. Typically when I get sick, though, is basically once I finish up work for the year. You know, so basically right before Christmas, that's typically when I get pretty sick. No game is perfect. I would never be able to review a game as like 10 out of 10. I just can't push over there. Even if it's just that type, the amount of arty they have, potentially TDs behind them, it's just too much of a risk for me to attempt that. Hello, Steven. Nice to see you. And of course, just as we left, that's when the E50 pushes up. But it's frustrating because, you know, we could very much push that side, but it's, you know, it's very difficult for us, you know, T-57s to actually do that. This bat chat is a problem. It's like, I guess, feel useless in a way. But, you know, our armor frickin' went to the goddamn beach. Like, it's not your goddamn holiday here. Thank God I set him on fire. I'll reload here. Mikey? No. I live stream because people like to watch live streams and chat. I don't edit a lot because, well, it takes time, and I'm not exactly good at like effects and everything. But I don't like watching videos, honestly, that, you know, people edited out just their good parts, just the good parts. That was loud. You know, the good parts of their matches, or putting in like special effects, and it doesn't do anything for me. Honestly, I don't watch videos like that. But you know, live streaming, it's a thing. It's not just, you know, being lazy, if that's what you're trying to say. Yes, we're kind of leaving our base open, but there's no longer anybody over there. Yeah, we're coming, E100. Slowly but surely, we're coming. Need some pills after playing World of Tanks. How are you not taking damage from anybody? And yeah, maybe that's why RNG's on your side right now. Ah, shit, he crashed. I don't have a shot right now. Okay, they're starting to push up. It's all good, Echo Baby. I crashed earlier. Granted, it was into tier 3, but I still crashed. It happens. Trying to get up here before they get back into the fight. And of course the 140's back up. Most of the time. I'm gonna catch up on chat in a second here though. Sometimes I'll blame people when I mess up. But usually I end up kind of correcting myself, like I did that. I was stupid. E100, you just pinged for that T-57 to come all the way up here, and now you're pinging for him to go all the way back there. Like, yeah, I'm taking time out of my battle to blacklist him, but honestly, this is where I would love to basically TK people, but I don't. Now the question is, do they stay around where they're at here, or, you know, do they pop up behind us, which is a very big possibility of them doing that. Yep, and the Grill 15 does that. I have no choice now but to come up, but E100 is probably going to blame us for the loss, which, whatever. I could have did things a couple different ways, but still, not just us who made mistakes, so that guy can think what he wants. But he was the one pinging the T-57 to come up, and he called him a retard because our arty died. Like, oops. That was definitely, and of course, I hate when it does that. Like, give me my freaking detailed information. I really hope that they fix that. But Type 59, you know, is up next here. But, you know, just like usual, half of our freaking, not half, but I would say a third of our, like, fighting, pushing force on our team went to the goddamn beach. Like, who takes a mouse down there? But no pass. As far as improving, you basically, to improve, you need to learn how your tank plays, strengths and weaknesses, how enemy tanks, you know, basically play to your strength and their weakness, learn maps, and basically minimize mistakes, more or less. You know, basically pushing into like pre-aimed enemies, stuff like that, moving across and taking that one shot on the side you didn't expect, like little things like that. But yeah, that's how you know, as far as improving. But you know, as far as the game goes, like until you hit about like 8,000 matches or so, you don't have a complete grasp of the game, I feel like. Mikey, I guess saw that. I can invite you. I have one tier 8 coming up here, and then I have I think after the meal was the 183 and a tier 9, so I can invite you for the meal match. but then I do have a tier 10. Hello, Orlando. Ah, nice, you got a new PC. Hello, Doyle, as well. I do not know why your thing wouldn't appear, Doyle. Huh, that's odd. I don't know why it wouldn't do that, to be honest. That's strange. I haven't heard it or see it do that before, honestly. Maybe it doesn't like you. Yeah, I definitely need to get these requests done now, so I can do the tier 8 with you. But yeah, after that, I'd like to grind out some premium tanks to end the stream. Um, I'll probably want to do that solo just so I can get a bunch of battles in because I'm really killing for credits here. Like I'd like to get new tanks not only for you guys but also it keeps me interested a little bit more if I have new tanks to play and you kind of know what I mean. It's not fun playing and being stuck at the same grind for like sometimes for me like months on end. Oopsie daisy.